An impromptu visit to Geek Toy Hut in Arlington Heights, Illinois last week yielded me a piece that I'd never owned before. Stick around to find out what that piece is. That's all coming up next.
Heck yeah. Buy, sell, trade. I should have brought my Ninja Turtle stuff.
Hey Star Wars fans, welcome back to another video from All Things Star Wars Considered. I'm your host Doug, and today we're going to take a look at a vintage piece, a vintage Kenner piece. And I'm sure when you guys watch these videos you probably think, oh, he's got everything, you know. But, you know what? Growing up, like I've said, we did collection by committee and or community or however I referred it, and we didn't always have things. And you know what? Growing up, I was a firm believer of keeping things as close to the movie as possible. So when Kenner did expanded universe type of stuff where they wanted kids to be a little bit more creative in their play, I kind of avoided that because I could only get so many pieces and I didn't want to be picking up pieces that weren't in the movie. So stuff like the Droid Factory, even though I love the Jawas, I really wasn't into it. I never picked that piece up. But there was also one other piece that I never had as a kid. And you know what it was? The Imperial Troop Transporter. And yeah, we were in Illinois last week visiting family. And when I got into Illinois, guess what? They don't call them smartphones for nothing. I look into my YouTube feed, and the first thing I see is a guy from Australia doing a toy run to Geek Toy Hut in Arlington Heights, Illinois. And you know something? My family lives about 15-20 minutes away from that place. So we made a run on Friday. I picked up a troop transporter, which I'd never owned. I got it in the box. We're going to take a look at that next. So stick around. That's all coming up. Okay, let's get into the box. Now, again, I apologize. This box is annihilated. So I'm going to do the best I can with it. So over here, we have the Star Wars logo. This one has the single racetrack piping around the outer edge of the box, which is weird because normally this S continues to form the double and then the W here forms the other side. So it's weird that this one only has the single racetrack piping. So it says Star Wars Imperial Troop Transport. Of course, we have the Luke and Leia Hildebrandt and ages 4 and I'm assuming up because that part of the box is gone. We have the Kenner logo down here. Here, original Star Wars sounds. Assembly required. Action figures not included. Contents: 1 Star Wars vehicle with 6 original Star Wars sounds, 6 side compartments, droid prisoner compartment, 2 prisoner immobilization units, synchronized radar scope and laser cannon, and 2 driver compartments. Uses 1 C alkaline battery not included. And there's a refund of up to $3 on purchases of selected Star Wars action figures. And that was basically you could get 50 cents off per figure. So you could buy 6 Stormtroopers for this thing. I'm assuming you could get R2 or 3. I'm sure it was just you could get 6 action figures and they would give you 50 cents towards each figure. But it was basically so you could populate this. And over here it says R2-D2, where are you? Which is one of the sound effects. Speaking of the sound effects, it says play all the following original Star Wars sounds. R2-D2 beeps, laser cannon sound, stun rifle sound, C-3PO saying R2-D2, where are you? The Stormtrooper saying, there's one, set for stun. And lastly, the Imperial Troop Transporter engine sound. Then below that it says Imperial Troop Transporter has these other action features. Droid prisoner compartment, 6 side compartments, 2 prisoner immobilization units. Action figures not included. Play original sounds from Star Wars. Play Star Wars action figures in the driver control compartments. Let's flip to the bottom. This has basically the same thing that I read on the other side of the box, but we have a couple of different images of the toy in action. And let's see what that has to say. Swiveling radar scope and rotating laser cannon move together. So basically when you turn this radar dish, the cannon moves in the opposite direction. They're on a gear system, so when one turns, it turns the other one. And then there's a prisoner area in the back, and it says put R2 into prisoner compartment. And they've got R2 going into the prisoner compartment, but they're putting C-3PO in there as well. So pretty much that's it in a nutshell. Let's see at the end of the box. 6 original sounds, 2 prisoner mobilization units, 2 driver compartments, droid prisoner compartment, 6 side compartments, synchronized radar, scope, and laser cannon. So you know the drill. I mean, it's the same. And look at this part of the box. I mean, I had to do some serious work to restore this because all the flaps were gone. The box is really bad. I'm just trying to create a little bit nicer of a display. So just so when I sit it on a shelf, it displays a little bit better. And I've still got this hole that's in the back here. I think I'm going to cut out here, cut along this A, cut along the top of the R and the S, cut up here, and then I'm going to try to splice something back in there just so it displays a little bit better. But that's going to take some work, and I got to let it dry because it's wet. Obviously, this thing was found in a basement somewhere. So, but I've done the best I can. So let's get to the toy. Okay, before we get to the ship, let's take a quick look at the owner's manual that comes with it. So it says Star Wars Imperial Troop Transporter. Assembly instructions. First, attach the 6 personnel pods by inserting the tabs on the top of the pods into the slots on the side of the toy. Then snap the lower tab into the place. The radar dish simply snaps onto the rotating radar base. Insert 1 C alkaline battery, not included as shown. Battery compartment is shown by number 3 on top of the toy. Notice one end of the battery compartment has a narrow channel for the battery tip. Snap the battery cover into place. This is my favorite part. Put your labels on using your package and the sheet as a guide. It really doesn't show you. I had to kind of go online and try to figure out how to put it on, and I even put the mobilization stickers on wrong because one of them was off, but the second one was off, and I went using that and ended up realizing that they're on wrong, so I'm going to have to try to figure out pulling them off and then reattaching them. Now, as we open up, it says authentic Star Wars movie sounds are filled with action and adventure. To activate the sound, select 1 sound control button, press down and hold it down for a moment, then release. The Imperial Troop Transporter features 6 different sounds from the original Star Wars motion picture. And of course you have the laser cannon, the transporter engine sound, R2-D2 whistling, R2-D2 where are you, spoken by C-3PO, the Stormtrooper Battle Command, there's one, set for stun. And then, of course, you have the stun rifle. And then right in the center, it's showing you the cannons. And then that is the radar dish support. And by turning clockwise the radar dish support, the guns go counterclockwise. Now, let's go to the bottom here. And it says, the switch makes the voices go faster or slower. The switch is located inside the rear compartment of your Imperial Troop Transporter. And that is an odd feature. And unfortunately, I can't show you guys that. Another service to you. In your Imperial Troop Transporter, every part is important. If any part is missing or broken when you receive your toy, we will, as a service to you, replace it free of charge. And then they show you all the different things. So you have the personnel pod, the label sheet, the radar dish, the battery cover, prisoner immobilization unit, laser cannon, pilot door right, pilot door left, and the rear compartment door. So I guess if you had a problem, you could just contact them using this form, and I guess they'll ship you some parts. Our friends are in danger when Imperial stormtroopers are on patrol. Doors to front pilot and co-pilot compartments open. Action figures not included, such as Imperial Stormtrooper, Death Star Commander, or Death Star droid might be at the controls. Death Star Commander. Supposed to be Death Squad Commander. We all know that. Imperial Stormtroopers are transported to the spot where Luke Skywalker and Ben Kenobi were last seen in the movie. The moving laser cannon spins a full 360 degrees and moves up and down. Control it by moving the radar dish in the opposite direction. A special rear compartment is used to transport captured droids. It looks like R2-D2 has been caught. And then finally we have the prisoners wear prisoner immobilization units over their heads. Stormtroopers use them to try to brainwash those loyal to the rebels. And there you can see, that's where the stick is supposed to go. One was already on the other side over here, and I thought that's where it was supposed to go, so I reattached it that way. Obviously, that's wrong, so I'll have to fix that. But too late now. Your Imperial troop transporter and real Star Wars movie action sounds help you create your own stories and scenes. May the Force be with you. So, yeah, there you have it. Now, let's get to the comic, which is one of my favorites. Okay, I've been collecting for 46 years. Never owned this ship, and never realized that it came with this little comic, which I think is pretty cool. And most people probably won't take the time to read this, and most people might get bored, but I have to. So it says, Darth Vader's final orders crackled through each trooper's headset. The words were chillingly clear. Either come back with the plans or don't come back at all. It seemed impossible. Two mindless droids had made off with design prints of the Empire's most devastating weapon, the Death Star. As the search squad left the Imperial cruiser, a report came through from the onboard scanning stations. The droid's escape pod had been tracked to an arid region on Tatooine known as the Central Lowlands. The exact ground position had been lost as the pod went beyond the scanner's range. But in all that sand, a metal pod should not be hard to find, not with the Imperial troop transporter. Landing at preset coordinates, the troop transporter of the Imperial Empire was there to meet them, long, sleek, deadly, with the Imperial crest over the side hatches. The great steel blue craft was operated by two drivers and could hold all 6 members of the search squad. Each trooper entered a traveling rack on the side of the transporter. They rode standing up in individual racks since their white and black armor made it almost impossible to sit. The rear of the vehicle contained a prisoner immobilization unit for the detention and taming of renegade droids. And for heavy resistance, there was always the laser blaster mounted on the upper deck. Even at night, the transporter looked fearsome with the glare of its black flip-up lights. One driver reported that dewback ground units had spotted the pod just a short distance to the north. Not bad for a dewback outfit, but the transporter would take over the search from that point. It could cover twice the distance in half the time. The transporter hovered a few feet above the surface and sped to the pod landing site, but the droids and the plans had long since gone. They left only 2 sets of tracks in the sand that was spared by the midday winds. The dewback had already gone after 1 set of tracks. The transporter locked onto the other set and headed east. Their surface scanner in the transporter soon picked up an old Class D transport slogging through the sand, something the Jawas called a sand crawler. Over the external sound system, they were ordered to halt in the name of the Empire. They kept moving. 2 rounds were fired across the sand crawler bow from the 50 megaton blaster on the upper deck. The Jawas stopped and came out to greet the Imperial boarding party. They had many droids in their inventory, but not the ones Darth Vader wanted back. 2 droids were looted from the cargo bay and placed in the droid prisoner compartment for further questioning. A sale had been recorded to one Owen Skywalker of 2 droids for his moisture farm. That's all the troop commander had to hear. The order was given to open fire, and the Jawas were cut down in mid-step, defenseless. As the transporter left to find the Skywalker farm, the heavy gun fired once at the sandcrawler's midsection. It exploded and burst into flames. So there you have it. Probably too long, and nobody probably wants to hear it, but it was too cool to not include in the video. So thanks for listening. Now, as I mentioned earlier, when I grabbed this thing, pretty dirty, so I pulled all the pods off, or personnel chambers, units, whatever you call them. I pulled those all off, soaked them in some warm water with soap, scrubbed the main body, and just scrubbed every part. Again, I recreated these 3 stickers. Actually, I recreated all of them, and I used a paper punch to create that circular detail. This I recreated using the other side, because all the other stuff on the other side, for the most part, is original. This is an original sticker, which I had to reapply. Same thing with that, and this. This was the original sticker, and I had to reattach it. And then, of course, I recreated that. So that's the bulk of the stickers. There were 2 in the front. I had to re-glue those in place because those had come off. But thank God they were still in the box. And the top, which has all the sounds, all those stickers have gone away, with the small exception of the R2-D2 one, which is very difficult to see. But there it is right there. That's the only one that's left, unless something else turns up. But for the most part, that's the bulk of the stickers. As I said, you turn this, and those cannons turn. You have a rear detention area here that you could put R2-D2 in, and you could pop him in there and, sit 3PO in there too. It'd be awful crowded, but in any event, yeah. And then we have the front here that we could maybe stick a Death Squad commander in, and I just happen to have one available, so you could pop him in there. And you know how I feel about putting figures in and bending the legs, but you got to show how it goes. And then let's see if we can grab a Stormtrooper and pop a Stormtrooper into one of these pods. So yeah, here we go. I have a little so you would put him in there, and then you have the control area, or the cockpit, which would hold 2, so you could actually open this side up and put another figure in there. But and then you could fill all 6 of these pods. Obviously, we have the prisoner area. That's where the battery goes for the thing that doesn't work. And I'm sorry. I opened this thing up before I shot the video, and did exactly what Toy Polloy said. I cleaned the record. I cleaned the needle. I did everything he said to do, but even the motor the motor might be gone. So maybe I can replace the motor. I don't know, but sorry about that. But there you have your Imperial troop transport. So thanks for watching. One final thing I forgot to mention about the immobilization units. So say you had Han Solo here, and you had him, and you wanted to kind of fix him because he's been brainwashed or something. Does this go like this? I think that goes like that. I don't know. Never had this toy as a kid. So this is me discovering this for the first time. But in any event, that goes over their shoulders. And I'm just assuming, because that doesn't seem to work. It seems like that would go over their back more so than, yeah. So I think that's how that's supposed to go. And again, these stickers had fallen off as well. I re-glued those as well after cleaning these. So that was one thing I had kind of forgot, with all these, great features. You can't forget any. So now we're done. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.
It's the Star Wars Imperial Troop Transporter that you put together. Batteries not included. Stormtrooper sold separately. What's that?
It's my troop transporter. It makes 5 more sounds, too. Where are you? There's the laser cannon, stun gun, and stormtrooper.
Did he say that?
Oh, Dad.
Star Wars Imperial Troop Transporter. Stormtrooper sold separately. New from Kenner.
Well, I hope you enjoyed taking a look at the Imperial Troop Transporter. It was great to get that piece. I've never owned it. I've had opportunities in the past, but just for some reason, just wasn't interested. And I don't know what prompted this particular pickup this time, because I've seen it in the past. But I just kind of was browsing. I looked down. I saw the box. I saw the comic. That comic kind of really attracted me to that piece. I never realized that Kenner had put out a comic for that particular ship. And you know why? It's because it's expanded universe. So that what they did is, as you were reading along, and I read along there, it would say something about Dewback, and they would have it like highlighted or italicized, so that it kind of let you know, oh, we have a Dewback. And then they said something about the Death Star, and that was italicized so that you could know that Kenner put out a Death Star. And they said they said characters like Star Destroyer Commander, whatever they said. Every time they mentioned something that you could purchase through Kenner, it was italicized. So I thought that was kind of neat. But I love the little story. That really attracted me to the piece, and the way they had it kind of situated in the collector's case. And it just was cool because they had the box in the back, they had the ship in the front, and then they had all the paraphernalia kind of fanned out in front of everything. And it really was nicely displayed. And I saw it and I'm like, I want that piece. And I bought it. So it's needs some work, obviously, but most of the work is done. I added the stickers. I still got to work on the box a little bit, but all in all, a nice little vintage piece to pick up. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're going to start to move on and wrap things up. Before we do so, I'd like to thank everybody for their continued support of my humble little All Things Star Wars Considered YouTube channel. I've been picking up subscribers left and right, and for that, I'm thankful, I'm grateful, I'm appreciative. So if you have subscribed, thank you, thank you, thank you. For all the people that have subscribed and have just, regular viewers of my channel, thank you as well. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. That helps the channel. You know what really helps the channel? If you haven't subscribed, hitting that subscribe button so I can continue to bring you that valuable Star Wars content we've all come to know and love. If you have a question or comment, please leave it in the comment section. I'll get back to each and every one of you. One of my favorite parts of the channel. I just want to remind everybody to have a great day. Thank everybody for watching, and we will see you on the next video. And as always, may the Force be with you. Take it away, Cregan.
There's an old man living cold and poor. Feels like there's nothing to give. There's a young boy crossing by his path, reflected